Welcome to Spring LIB.
In this problem, it'll be useful to take into account the law of conservation of energy. We know that both balls have the same velocity, but we don't know if they are identical, meaning do they have the same mass or not. So let's set up an equation to represent the energy of some ball m. So we're not talking about either of those masses, we're talking about some unknown mass m. At that point, mass m has some gravitational potential energy. So that is the mass times gravity times height. And it also has some kinetic energy, which is 1/2 times the mass times the velocity squared. Now, since the velocity is squared, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative because it'll be positive either way since it's squared. So that is our initial condition. Now at the bottom, we no longer have a height. Height is 0. So either if the ball went straight down or if it went back up and then back down, it'll have some kinetic energy but no potential. So at the end we have 1/2 times the mass times the final velocity squared. And since there is no air resistance, then we know that no energy has been lost in this process. So we can bring these two equations together and set them equal to each other because we know that no energy has been lost. We set them equal to each other. But notice that we have mass in every term. So we can divide both sides of the equation by m. And that way we completely get rid of m in both sides of the equation. This tells us that the velocity will not depend on the mass. So that is not something we have to worry about. And what about the velocity? Well, we're told that we have the same velocity. So both balls have the same height, and both balls have the same velocity, the initial velocity. And of course, both of them experience the same amount of gravity. So that means that the velocity final will be the same for both balls. So let's write that down. The velocity of the ball, the final velocity of the ball going down equals the velocity final of the ball going up. That is our final answer.